Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webinar, Unlocking Business Transformation with AWS Bedrock and Generative AI. My name is Mary Kirshner. I lead customer success at Focal CXM. We're excited that you are here to join us today. Before we get started, I want you to know that we will have time at the end for questions or comments. So please post your questions to the Q&A link, and we will address them at the end of the presentation. Today, we'll explore how AWS Bedrock empowers enterprises to innovate, optimize operations, and drive new revenue through generative AI. We have two presenters with us today. Venkata Jyothi Kotra is the Director of Data and AI at Focal CXM, where she leads data and AI solutions for the commercial and public sectors. Additionally, she's an adjunct faculty member in data analytics at South New Hampshire University and has a deep focus on data modernization, architecture, governance, and enterprise data modeling. Today is Aditya Madanani. Aditya, holds a master's degree in data science and specializes in applying Gen AI solutions to solve complex business challenges. He's demonstrated expertise in leveraging advanced data-driven technologies to foster innovation and efficiency across various industries. So thank you so much for being here today, Jyothi and Aditya. I will pass this on to you.
Thanks, Mary, for the introduction. I'm Venkata Jyothi Kotra. Thank you all for joining today's webinar on unlocking business transformation with AWS Bedrock and Gen AI. We will dwell deep to learn about AWS Bedrock platform, foundation models, and how to build downstream applications using foundation models. So here is a quick peek at the agenda and topics to be discussed in the webinar. So first we'll go with the introduction of Bedrock and then go into an overview of Bedrock and foundation models and do a deep dive on foundation models followed by a demo and then Q&A session. Focal CXM is dedicated to enhance employee and customer experiences through utilization of data, artificial intelligence, Salesforce. Focal CXM has achieved success in delivering diverse data and AI services to esteemed clients and stakeholders. In addition to that, let's go on looking at Bedrock today. Amazon Bedrock Studio is a web app for prototyping apps using foundational models and features. It allows testing of prompts with many foundational models, like most popular ones like Anthropic Claude model without code writing. It facilitates creation of prototype app using features like knowledge base and guardrail, which we are going to see in the demo today. So let's look at how foundational models work. Foundation models mainly involves training a model with unlabeled text or multimodal data. That's the most advantage of foundation models is that when compared to the traditional models, which are more supervised and with have labeled data, and then all the traditional ML machine learning models have labeled data and more control on the features, but whereas Gen AI models or foundational models are it takes large amount of data which no need to have labeling, and then it automatically can derive features from this unlabeled data, and it can actually handle wide variety of diverse data sets. So these data sets can be actually processed into the foundation model and train this with the foundation model. So that way these foundation models have been exposed as endpoints in Bedrock platform. So they would have trained with multi-million dictionaries. They would have trained with large petabytes of data. So it knows all the knowledge, and it has a lot of knowledge on different generic informations. So these foundation models can right away be used for different wide variety of tasks like text generation, summarization, information extraction, Q&A, and chatbot. So wide variety of tasks can be performed. But when we try to do a RAG on top of it, which is a design pattern on using Gen AI models, which is retrieval augmented generation. So when RAG is used on top of foundational models, these foundational models with its generic knowledge base, it tries to add in an additional knowledge base of trying to understand the enterprise level data. And then it tries to learn the enterprise level data and completely tries to build a knowledge base on top of it and then perform these tasks for us. So that foundational model can be used as an endpoint for Q&A retrieval or chatbot application, information extraction, or summarization of text content. So like that wide variety of use cases can be deployed on top of these foundation models. So we have covered a lot of topics on our previous webinars on how to use GenAI models and how to perform RAG on top of it, and in detail on how to build a RAG architecture on foundation models. So this webinar, we are trying to actually focus on the challenges while building these foundation models and how Bedrock platform can ease those challenges. So mainly the foundation models have challenges in defining, measuring, mitigating AI concerns. Like primarily organization wide, while trying to deploy AI models, the main challenge is how ethical is the AI solution which is built in the market today, or how responsible is the AI solution. So that's the most important challenge. And on addition to that, there's also few other things like, what if the model is hallucinating? How can we control the model to be more relevant, more coherent to the information, and do not hallucinate with or go out of the topic, and how coherent it is? All these measures are very, very important. So model evaluation is becoming a very big challenge, and then deploying the foundation models is one thing, but making sure that these models are addressing the needs of the organization is very, very important. So in this webinar, we are trying to focus completely on how to define these metrics, how to place guardrails on a foundation model, and how we are trying to actually make sure or build some customization on top of these models so we can evaluate the models. So these all are advanced RAG concepts. In addition to performing the RAG, we are trying to add in more guardrails and more controls on the platform, so that way these foundation models can actually address much better need to the organization and perform very well for the organization needs. So these are the topics we are going to dwell deep in webinar today. With this, I'm going to go to the actual demo of the topics which I'm trying to talk today. So hope everyone can see my screen. First, I will go over in detail on the Bedrock platform. So here we are trying to see, this is the Bedrock platform. And then first I'd like to go and try to go over like how we can use this platform for our needs. I'm going to the configurations of Bedrock. It's very important for us to understand that what kind of models are available in our platform, and then what access are available right away within the same region of the Bedrock. So that is very important to understand. Once we know like these are the models which are available, and then we have this access granted for example, Titan, this model has right away straight away access, and few other models have access. So it's very important to understand, so that way we can use these foundation models within our environment. In addition to that, the next big thing is like go to the model catalog. So here, model catalog is another new preview feature which Bedrock has added, where it tries to give a good spotlight on all the models which are available in the platform for right away using. In addition to that, like this, clicking on each model will give a end user understanding of what the model is, what are the benchmarks of the model, and how is the inner mechanics of the model being built, and transparency of the model itself, so we can understand the complete architecture and mechanism of how this foundation model has been built. That information is very, very important for the users to understand before actually building an application on top of the model. It's very important to evaluate whether this model is the right choice for the use case which needs to be addressed. So that's how the actual Bedrock platform model catalog window will help on understanding. For example, my use case is text generation, or my use case is actually Q&A session. So right away, the use cases have been highlighted over here. So the model selection is pretty easy on what is the use case and what kind of model is actually addressing the need for the organization. So, for example, there's a use case for building agents. Then right away, the choice is there on for building agents, what models actually can help us. So that's how the model catalog would help in selection of the models. So next, I'm going to talk about few concepts on having how to actually protect the model or safeguard the model. So once the knowledge base has been built on the model, and the model is starting to serve the enterprise with a Q&A, question and answer retrieval, or actually deploying as an end chatbot into an application itself, it's very important to build some evaluations on top of the model to make sure that the model is doing the right job for the organization. It's very important. For example, just like how a customer service agent knows all the knowledge about the company, and then they have all the documentation and how to respond for each and every query or interaction they're getting from the end user. Just the same way, the model also needs to understand all the knowledge base of an enterprise, and then answer the question very relevant to what it is being asked to the model. So I'm talking about the knowledge base. Let's take a quick peek at the knowledge base and then come to the evaluation itself. So in knowledge base, mainly, like, we have some pre-built knowledge bases over here. So primarily, take the data. So the data which is completely relevant to the company, and upload that into Bedrock, and then run a sync on top of the data set itself. So I'm trying to show here how to run a sync on the data. So here, running the sync actually goes and tries to run the sync on the whole data set itself, and then now the endpoint is ready. It is indexed, it is chunked, and then it is ready for actual testing purposes. So applying a particular foundational model over here on the knowledge base, actually you can test the model by asking any question, and the model starts to respond to that. So this is pretty much just like how the RAG functionality works on processing the enterprise level information, and then trying to use a model endpoint, foundational model endpoint, to generate the answers. So here, the information which we have processed into the model today is multifamily loan application information. So the model has complete knowledge on the mortgage rules, and then multifamily loan information. So right away, the model is trying to respond with different information. In addition to that, it gives a citation on that particular model. So this is the knowledge base on how we can build actually a RAG application on top of foundational model endpoints using Bedrock in a very easy fashion. And it is like no code, low code solution. So the studio provides advanced capabilities for any end user, like without much technical capabilities, knowing the good relevant information of the enterprise. And with that, actually, the whole RAG application can be built and deployed into an end application. So that way we can right away consume this. So the whole RAG lifecycle has been made very easy using this Bedrock platform. So after building this index, that's very great to have the index having so fast and everything. But what about the performance of this index? It's very important to understand that the endpoint is working well for the organization, and then trying to understand the usage, trying to understand the relevancy, trying to understand the coherence. All these metrics are very important to monitor continuously, so that we can understand that the whole model is working well. And then it also gives a chance to fine tune and apply continuous observability on the model itself. So here, I'm trying to showcase the evaluation on the knowledge base, which I just showed. So we are trying to evaluate the whole RAG solution by itself. So clicking on the evaluation. So for the interest of time, because this evaluation job itself takes like around 5 minutes of time for inference. So here I've pre-built, in the interest of time, I have pre-built the whole evaluation of the knowledge base itself. So giving some parameters on what metrics I want. And then, so those metrics actually, like, while I was defining the metrics criteria, I clearly set the evaluation pipeline to say that try to evaluate for correctness, helplessness, faithfulness, completeness, and logical coherence. So all these responsible AI metrics have been inputted, and then so it tries to give metrics on based on the information which is being asked to the model. It tries to generate the metrics out of those informations, so that way, like, we can see that the model is still performing well. It is complete. All the responses are correct, and then they have coherence with the question being asked. So that's how the metrics are actually coming out of the RAG application. So here, it's very important to also understand that what kind of conversation has been happening with the model, and based on the conversations, how it is, what output is being generated, and then is this conversation actually helpful to the end user. So based on the information which is being inputted in the model and the end user prompts which are going into the model, it tries to break down the metrics and say that, yeah, definitely the answer which is generated for the question is helpful, then the answer which is generated for the metrics is actually correct. So it shows based on the conversations, based on the questions being asked, the input and output, it tries to evaluate using precision metrics, using recall metrics, and there's a lot of methodological way on how these measures are being how the measures are being implemented, and that's how these metrics are coming out. So logical coherence, again, based on the conversation which we have asked to the model, it tries to take that conversation and say that, yeah, definitely the answer is coherent to the question being asked. So that's how these metrics are being evaluated on the index to make sure that index is actually doing the job as required for the organization or for the business. So that's how adding an additional component to the whole RAG application and adding an additional component of an evaluation flow to the whole metrics is very, very important. So for example, I'm just going to showcase how easy it is to actually build this evaluation pipeline in addition to the whole end inference code for the foundation model. So giving an evaluation, unique evaluation name is very important, and definitely a user friendly description on why exactly we are building this evaluation model. And then choose a model. So basically the foundation LLM model which is being used for this knowledge base probably might be anthropic model, or it can be a meta model, or it can be llama, it can be anything, but we are trying to judge a LLM with another LLM. So that's how the evaluation works. So an LLM is acting as a judge to the other LLM, so that way we can actually evaluate like how exactly this LLM is working. So here, choosing another evaluator model to the base LLM is that gives you actually the exact evaluation on how it is working. So in addition to that, like so mainly we are trying to evaluate the main knowledge base, and then metrics which are being implemented are context relevance, and trying to evaluate both the quality and the context relevance, and how depth is the coverage, how is it grounded completely into the information itself. So groundedness is also measured. So basically, to build this evaluation data set, we are trying to give a data set which is actually which is actually built for the evaluation purposes. So this is my evaluation data set which is in the S3 bucket. So that evaluation data set is being inputted, and then next also we need to define the destination S3 bucket where my evaluation needs to go. So I'm going and trying to give here my output destination of S3 bucket. So that way, like the evaluation metrics will flow back and they get stored in this S3 bucket. So that's how we are trying to actually create an evaluation metrics, and then just how I have demoed the metric which has already been built. So this is how it tries to evaluate a knowledge base. It's very, very powerful, very important implementation, which Bedrock has made it very easy as a web interface. Directly, it builds with a no code or low code solution, and directly we can evaluate the foundation model, which has been already in production. So we can continuously monitor and evaluate that the model is performing and addressing the needs of a business or addressing the needs of an organization. In addition to that, let me jump on to the other topic, which is guardrails. So, what are guardrails and why are these guardrails very important? So, mainly the guardrails are mainly trying to safeguard the whole LLM by itself. AI is a black box. Many, though there is a lot of hype around the AI, still many organizations consider it as a black box technology, knowing that AI can transform the whole business. But in addition to that, it can those transformations need some safeguards in place to make sure that AI is trying to do the job as intended. So that's the most important thing on building a AI based application. or trying to transform the existing processes into automated AI based processes. So it's very important to understand that the application which we are trying to deploy and the application which is trying to be automated is actually safeguarded with good controls and making sure that there is no differential privacy, there's no breach, there's no data flow outside. So all important guardrails needs to be in place to make sure that the application is trying to perform as we need to perform. So I'm going to show here how to create a guardrail. So let's think about, we are trying to build a chatbot for medical advice, and then how we can input guardrails. So this is a very basic example I'm trying to showcase on what the guardrail is and how it can actually work in the real time scenario. So I'm trying to give a name and description, and in addition to that, I'm trying to give a message which the model has to output for blocked prompts. So when the prompt is blocked based on a guardrail, this is an information message which we want it to flow to the user, so they understand like why is the response not coming. So next it's very important to define like what categories are we trying to place for the content filters. Content filters are nothing but it is trying to make sure that the model outputs are not trying to have some hateful information, violent information, and make sure that every response which the model is taking as an input and every response which it is giving as an output, always make sure that the whole content is safe for the end user. So that's what the categories are trying to do. Next, we are trying to make sure that the prompt, there's no threat on the prompt, and there is no unintentional any attacks on the prompt itself. So we are trying to add those content filters on the prompts. In after that, we are trying to add a denied topic. For example, because this model is trying to serve particularly, this model is trying to serve a medical advice. So we want to control the model on any question, any sample questions are being asked. Then we want to say that okay, in example, like for example, if there are some sample phrases which are being asked, the sample phrases which are being asked, for example, if there's any questions like this, then immediately we are trying to ask the model not to respond back on this information, and we are trying to make sure that it tries to block the information on this particular phrases. So that's what I'm trying to add here. And then the denied topic can be like medical advice, and then provide a clear definition on what exactly we are trying to deny a topic for. So what we are trying to avoid, like providing any specific information on a medical content. So I'm just copying pasting just for the interest of the time over here. So this is the definition of what a topic needs to be denied, and then some of the sample phrases which it needs to stop the end user from. So once the denied topics have been created, like I can add one more denied topic actually. So here I'm trying to add one more denied topic. Can you diagnose my symptoms? So once this is added, I'm going to the next step, which is trying to filter any word filters. So any words which we don't want the model to output or take as an input, we can actually add in the filters so that those words can be directly filtered out from the model itself. So we can add the words where we can actually filter out completely. So here I'm trying to add some words where we filtered out. So I'm just showcasing all this as an example, and then I can go over a one pre-built guardrail which has already been done. And then in addition to that, like next, we can also add checks on the PII itself. For example, I want the name to be masked, And when the model input or output is trying to output any phone number, so what this totally depends upon the business use case. So if they want to mask the phone number, or if any credit card information is directly being displayed, then we want to mask it, then all this can be completely masked on the guardrail. For example, US social security number, if that's in the model itself, then we want to block that. So all this personal identifiable information can be completely blocked. So that's how we can set up the sensitive filters, and we can also add regex patterns on some of the identifiers. For example, here, like because this is medical advice, the information can be like a medical record number, or some personal health number, or any identifier for that matter. We can add in the regex pattern and then right away say that, okay, just guardrail this whenever you detect this, so immediately block that. So that's how we can set up the guardrails. And the next checks we can set up is like, make sure the response is grounded and make sure the response is relevant. So inputting all this will actually create this complete guardrail. So for the interest of time, I already created a guardrail on fiduciary advice. Basically, this is trying to prevent the model from providing any fiduciary advice or any investment related information. So here, to test this model, I'm trying to actually take an input of a model, and from there, test it with a prompt. So I'm just trying to test this endpoint with a prompt, and then see like whether the response has been filtered or not. So basically, I have given a prompt on asking the model saying, I have done 100K in my savings. What is the best way I can do invest this? So in this model, I already have inputted some investment, any words which cover investment, any words which say savings. I just said that use word block on those models, because the model shouldn't answer these questions. So here the actual model response actually gives the response saying that here are some options to consider for investing. So it gives output on what are the stocks available and all that. But we don't want this information to be flown out into the application based on the business need. So the action is like it intervened, and then the final response of the model is, sorry, the model cannot answer this question. How did this happen? It's because of the guardrail which we have placed on the content. So it blocked based on the denied topic. So the model has a denied topic on fiduciary advice, block any information which the end user is trying to ask the model, and then it detected the topic and immediately it just stopped the information from there. So that's how these guardrails actually protect the application altogether on different content, and then these guardrails can be extended and advanced to greatest extent possible. So that way we can make sure that the end application actually is working as per the needs, and then we can make sure that no PII information is being flown as an input or output of the model, and there is no data leaks, and there is no harmful content being exposed out by the model itself. So that's how this whole guardrails will help protect the whole application by itself. So in addition to that, like there's few other more capabilities on Bedrock. It is like multiple topics. We can dwell deep into each and every menu item over here. There is a lot of capabilities which have been exposed by Bedrock platform. Like we can build prompt flows, create a custom flow on top of an LLM endpoint, make sure that the model actually is serving to the needs what we want. And then in addition to that, like the model also gives additional capabilities on building the agent for any specific use case. So in our future webinar topics, we are going to go dwell deep into each and every topic as a webinar topic by itself, so that we can showcase different capabilities of Bedrock platform and how we have used these capabilities in the applications we are trying to build for the customers. So with that, I would like to pass on to my colleague to talk more about one of the application which we have built using Bedrock models, and then go over into details of how actually this is trying to give a lot of business value to the end customers.
Yep. So let me share my screen. So I hope my screen is visible. So hi all, very good morning and good evening everyone. Thank you for taking time and joining us today. Firstly, thank you Jyoti for the detailed explanation of Bedrock capabilities and its impacts on business transformation. So today I will be discussing a use case where our team developed an innovative solution using Bedrock. So for building this solution, we have used Bedrock service where we leveraged text generation models, summarization models, and embedding models. So we have tried with multiple Bedrock models which are available on one click after the approval. So for today, I will be continuing with one of our use case. So here the user persona is IT innovation team. So their responsibility is to explore the assets database and identify applicable inventions or production methods or connections between the current innovations and the existing IP assets. So for the team, it will take a lot of time to go through the database and get relevant information or get the relevant record or get a quick comparison of two records, which is very challenging for the team. So here we at Focal CXM have designed a solution where we are leveraging the AI capabilities to help the team and get immediate responses from the data which they were having in the database and suggest innovative approaches with the help of prompts and the AI models. So coming to the data type, here the data is in structured and unstructured format. So for this, we have built a portal to the team where the team or the users can easily access the chat, search in his data, and also can get innovative thoughts while working on the current innovations by leveraging the GenAI capabilities. So again, we are leveraging open search service and integrating GenAI capabilities for this use case with the help of Bedrock. So here we have indexed both the structured and unstructured data to the open search. So here we are capable of pulling the data from different content sources like be it Salesforce, be it Viva, Box, Google Drive. So this which we're going to discuss in our upcoming webinars. So apart from the GenAI, the portal has few key features like the portal provides a search feature that allows user to enter queries and retrieve relevant information from the indexed data. So for example, the user wants to see the data related to the data management. So he starts typing in the search bar. So here, based on the keywords, the traditional search is going to happen. Now the user is able to see all the data related to the data management. So if the user wants to see that data related to computer vision, here the user can see all the data related to the computer vision. Also, a filtering option is available in the left side of the portal, which enables user to refine their searches using input based criteria. For example, user wants to quickly check out the United States of, he selects United States of America and he wants to see the issued um, records. So immediately on the within a 2 clicks, he is able to see all the related with these input filters. So once if he click on clear filters, the home data will be back. So here in the generative summary section, we have added generative summary of the document related to the each record. So here it takes a lot of time for the team to go through the entire document and get a summary for it. So instead here for each record, the portal offers a simplified summary that provides a clear and accessible overview of the patent details, which saves a lot of time to the team for their new innovations. So here, whenever we are indexing the data to the open search, we are passing the document data to the summarization model where it summarizes and indexes to the portal. So here, once if the user clicks on more, he can see the complete summary of the document. And also the portal is integrated with GenAI chatbot, where user can ask patent related questions and receives instant responses. In addition, the chatbot can suggest similar documents based on the user queries. So this is the GenAI chatbot. Here we are using the Bedrock models, which are really very fast, secure, and these are privately hosted within our environment. So now let's try to ask a query. So let's start with a basic query without adding any complexity. So here we are asking what are the most relevant IT IP assets for my project topic adaptive model for database security and processing. So here you can see the list of the documents. It was the list of the titles it was giving related to the adaptive model for database. And also here there is one more feature where in the response, if the patent title is identified, if you click on that, it will search in the main tab. So this is one more very interesting feature for the user where instead he needs to go and search again in the search bar. So within a one click, he can filter the records as well. So now let's increase some complexity to the question and try to ask. So now I'm asking, how can I compare the IT IP assets of patent numbers to patent records in terms of novelty? So it gives the details to review the patent documents, identify the key features, and analyze the novelty. Along with that, it also gives the the similarity related documents from the indexed data. So also let's ask to give me a production method in the IT IP asset database for my big data project. So here it says this patent is the relevant production method for the IT IP assets database. So also it provides the similarity document links. So here in the backend, what happens is here we are using a very famous and powerful framework, which is RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. So in our previous webinars, we have discussed on RAG and also on the advanced RAG strategies as well. Apart from that, also here we are leveraging LangChain framework to build chains. So the RAG mainly has two phases. One is indexing phase and the other one is retrieval phase. In indexing phase, the data is extracted from the documents and perform pre-processing and chunk the pre-processed text and pass these chunks to the embedding model. So which gives us embeddings. And these embeddings are indexed to the vector database. So here we are using on-demand Amazon Titan embedding model from Bedrock. So this is indexing phase. Here our data is processed and stored in the vector database. So now the indexing phase is completed. So now when coming to the retrieval phase, whenever a query is entered, this query is passed to the embedding model and converts it into vectors. So based on the configuration algorithm, it retrieves the relevant vectors from the vector database and passes the text to the text generation model where it crafts the final response. So here as a text generation model, we are using Llama, which is also on demand from Bedrock. So here the power of Bedrock models are they are fast, accurate, can easily invoked and cost friendly as well. So apart from this, the chatbot can be resized so for the clear view and also can be moved and adjusted as per the user needs, ensuring flexibility in accessing information across the portal. Also, the detailed patent view feature allows the users to view complete patent information with a complete patent information from the indexed data. So with the with the records which have the document with on a single click, they can able to see the complete document also. So this is one of the very interesting and very innovative solutions, which helps the innovation team to discover more apart from their current innovations. So Bedrock model plays a very crucial role in crafting these solutions. Thank you AWS and Bedrock team for providing these amazing services. Thank you Focal team for leveraging this and solving the real-time problems. Once again, thank you all for joining us today. Have a good rest of the day. Over to you, Maria.
Oh, hi, thank you. It's time for Q&A, and we do have a couple of questions today. The first one is, what are the cost considerations when adopting AWS Bedrock for AI initiatives?
Yeah, definitely. I can take this question, Mary. Um, so, as Aditya has highlighted, bedrock models, foundation models are very cost efficient just because of there are multiple factors which are tied to it. They're very easy and efficient to use. Like basically, when we take like the direct costs and indirect costs as well, like everything considered into the return on investment on investing on AI based automation, right? So the investment cost, when we take, like anyone can build the whole application or rack application on Bedrock just because the studio provides lot of no code features where with very less technical capabilities with for a use case which just needs a chatbot, that end application can be built like within days. And in addition to that, like it has like specific safeguards, guardrails, and everything can be done in very easy fashion, so that directly adds to the cost of building the application. The cost of investment definitely can be low using Bedrock services because it has pre-built services already exposed as a studio model. So that's one of the advantage. In addition to that, like the knowledge base, it depends on the index, how much index we are building and what is the data sources sets. So definitely the vector index which we have built using knowledge base and all that would add to the cost, but compared to the other competitor solutions out in the market, definitely it is cost efficient. So I would say that close evaluation of cost comparisons is very, very important. But with the benchmarks of the models which are being exposed as endpoints on Bedrock, seeing the benchmarks and doing some comparative analysis with the platforms, definitely Bedrock is a good platform which gives a bread and butter for a AI based automation at a very cheaper cost.
Awesome, thank you. Another question here is, what security measures does AWS Bedrock offer to protect AI-driven workflows?
Yeah, definitely. That's a very good question. So, security, basically, the whole Bedrock endpoint, completely those AWS services can be safeguarded into a virtual private cloud connection. So, basically, the data which is being inputted into the whole knowledge base, S3, everything like data in rest and data in transit, everything is encrypted based on the AWS specified customer encryption keys. Like it's all encrypted through the flow, starting from the data at rest till the transit. So whole layer, all the layers are completely encrypted. In addition to that, because the whole solution is sitting in the virtual private cloud, basically nothing is going out of the boundary. The whole perimeter of the virtual private cloud is completely within the tenant or the organization tenant itself. So that provides an extra layer of security that no data is being flown out of that perimeter. So secured perimeter can be built around this AI based solution.
Great, thank you. And one final question here. What challenges do businesses face integrating generative AI, and how does AWS Bedrock help with that?
Yeah, definitely. As we have seen, like a very small snippet of capabilities we have showcased in this webinar. In our future webinars, we can show more capabilities of Bedrock. But if there is a use case, a particular use case which is just on like intelligent document processing, right? So there are documents, then immediately Bedrock has like a Bedrock automation, data automation feature where directly the document can be passed and completely automated, and then it just directly gives the blueprint of the document. So that way it is ready for indexing. So that is cool feature, and many other features where it made that all this complex task which used to be custom lines of code, thousands and thousands of lines of code to build a vector index, to do chunking, to do parsing, all that has been consolidated into one user interface and then expose that as a Bedrock platform. So building a solution where we can directly take a model endpoint and process RAG on top of it, and then use that as an application. Then directly the users can go to Bedrock and then do this in with very less cost of investment. But if there is a use case where we need the model controls, and there is a lot of control and more fine tuning needs to happen on the model itself, then there's Bedrock SDK. Bedrock SDK, primarily what it does is, like, the whole solution can be still called in the custom code, and then from there we can start adding features on top of it. So that way, like, it gives both the options, like a UI, user interface based development, model development, and also like an SDK based development. So which makes it is an answer for both the questions for a business and or a organization. They want to transform the organization with you introducing AI into existing processes. Yes, we have the answer. We can do the whole model building using the user interface with less technical capabilities and directly using all the features right away, and then the solution could be built. And if that needs to be extended, then definitely we can use the extended SDK services and then call that whole code and then start building enhancements on top of it. So that makes it definitely a good fit for building AI within an organization.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. That is it for questions today. Thank you, Jyothi and Aditya, for your time today. And for anyone who wants a recording of this, we will be posting that link on our website, www.focalcxm.com. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Yep. Thank you all.
Yep, thank you all.